Hi, my name is Nat, and today I'll tell you a few words about one of the most popular squares in Moscow, famous Theatre Square. The name theatre may already tell you something. We have around 170 theatres in Moscow, but this one, called the Bolshoi, maybe it's one of the most popular theatres in Moscow. So one of the most significant and famous ballet and opera houses in the world, the Bolshoi, has quite a long history, connected mostly with fires and reconstructions. The first theatre appeared here during the time of Catherine the Great, the 18th century we're talking about, and it was here for 25 years, till the moment of the fire that happened in 1805, and the theatre was destroyed by this fire. Then the theatre moved several times to different buildings, and finally it came back here in 1825, when after the war with Napoleon of 1812, there was a massive reconstruction and replanning of Moscow. And finally Joseph Beauvais, the very famous French architect, was responsible for this new building of the Bolshoi, and not only for the building but for the whole square, which finally formed a perfect neoclassical shape, with not only a building of the Bolshoi but several more buildings here. Then the building of the new Bolshoi theatre also suffered after another war that happened in 1853 and was reconstructed only in 1860s. After that moment, there were several more reconstructions of the famous Bolshoi theatre. The last one was finally finished in 2011, so this one's brand new again. So the famous Bolshoi theatre is depicted in Russian 100 ruble banknote, which is amazing. You should come and check. Okay, the weather is changing dramatically every 5 minutes. I don't know, I think in 5 minutes it's gonna be snowing, storming, but it won't stop us. We'll tell you everything anyway. So now we'll turn around the square a little bit and you'll be able to see what's around us, because nowadays the square doesn't look as it used to look in the 19th century. It's not a perfect quadrangle that used to be here after the plan of Joseph Beauvais. Nowadays it's a bit eclectic. We see lots of different buildings dating back to different epochs. So now we'll start with one more theatre situated at the square, the Russian Youth Theatre. It's this yellow building here. A bit over there, further there, it's the new stage of the Bolshoi Theatre. To the right from the Bolshoi, we see so-called Zoom shopping center, opened by two Scottish men in the 19th century. Nowadays it's one of the most luxurious shopping areas in Moscow. Here you see Mali Theatre, or small theatre. So the Bolshoi means the big one, and Mali means the small one. Easy! Over here you see the Metropole Hotel, also dating back to the beginning of the 20th century. It was constructed before the revolution, and it's one of the best examples of modern architecture here in Moscow. It has a beautiful glass roof made by famous engineer Shukhov, and amazing mosaics at the top over there, made by genius Russian artist Michael Grubel. You should check him, come to Moscow and see his works. And we turn a bit here and we see the Revolution Square, and lots of events, important events were happening there in 1917 during the Russian Revolution. The monument to Karl Marx, a German scientist, philosopher, and the author of Marxism theory, you can see there. The grey granite stone was put up there in 1920s, and they've made a monument out of it only in 1960s. So the inscription on Karl Marx monument says "Proletarians of all countries unite," which is quite ironic because he is overlooking the Bolshoi Theatre, and the price for the ticket of the Bolshoi is around $450. And we see one more outstanding building. It's quite big and massive. The Moscow Hotel, or nowadays it's Four Seasons Hotel. It's a nice example of Soviet architecture. It's 1930s, and if we turn a bit here, we'll see the one more building also with a nice example of Soviet architecture. It's the lower chamber of the Russian Parliament at the moment, but the building itself is dating back to 1930s as well, and it's something in the middle, something between the constructivism architecture and the typical massive Soviet architecture already. And now we'll turn back. We'll see lots of tourists and people screaming, which is okay for Moscow. We're back to Theatre Square, and we want to thank you for watching this video. There will be some more amazing videos of some interesting places of Moscow, for example the famous Moscow Metro. Stay tuned and beams of peace, hugs, see you!